I kept silent for a reason, because some feelings are too raw to share at the time. When I finally reveal what happened, you'll see how everything I did was a product of emotions I couldn't communicate. You might not understand my actions right away, but when I share the thoughts that led to them, you'll see that everything was done out of care, even if it didn't seem that way at first. Sometimes what you don't know is exactly what I need to work through my emotions. What I did wasn't meant to hurt. It was a way of protecting my heart while I sorted through the mess of feelings I had. Behind the quietness, there's always something more. Wait until you hear what I did, and you'll realize it wasn't just about the action. It was about the emotions that led me to make it. I never wanted you to feel betrayed, but there were feelings inside of me that were too big to keep bottled up. I'll share what I did soon, and you'll understand that I was just trying to navigate those feelings. In moments of silence, we often carry the heaviest burdens. You'll soon know what I did, and when you do, you'll understand how it was driven by feelings I couldn't voice at the time. You might think I acted in secrecy, but really, I was trying to shield my emotions from a world I didn't feel ready to share them with. Wait until you hear what I did. It'll make sense of everything. Sometimes the heart does things in silence, actions that are hard to explain without context. When you hear what I did, you'll realize it was never about hiding. It was about protecting something fragile inside. The things we do behind closed doors often have the deepest meanings. What I did may seem strange, but when I share why, you'll understand the emotions that were behind it. What I did behind your back wasn't easy for me. It was a moment of confusion and vulnerability, and it's only now that I can finally tell you why I made the choices I did. You'll be surprised by what I did, but it wasn't out of malice or deception. It was out of a need to understand my own feelings before I could share them with you. There's so much I've been carrying, and I couldn't bring myself to say it. When I finally tell you what I did, it will explain everything: my thoughts, my feelings, and the reason I kept it to myself. You might feel like I was hiding something from you, but in reality, I was just trying to figure things out in my own way. Soon you'll hear the truth behind my actions and understand where I was coming from. What I did wasn't meant to hurt you. It was a reflection of how I was feeling at the time, and once I share it with you, I believe you'll see that everything was done with the best intentions. I've always kept my emotions close to the chest, but there were things I needed to do to process them. When I finally tell you what happened, you'll understand why I couldn't say anything sooner. Behind every action, there's a story you don't know. When I share the full truth with you, it will reveal the complex emotions I was going through and why I made the choices I did. I made decisions in secret, but they were never intended to hurt you. They were my way of dealing with things that I didn't know how to express. When you hear what I did, you'll understand the emotions behind it all. There's more to the story than you can see. What I did behind your back wasn't to deceive you, but to understand myself better. Soon the truth will come out, and you'll see everything in a new light. Sometimes we do things in secret, not out of malice, but out of fear. The truth behind my actions is coming, and when you hear it, you'll realize I was just trying to find my way through the emotions I was facing. I never meant for you to find out this way, but now that the truth is about to come out, you'll see how everything I did was tied to the emotions I could never quite express. You won't believe the things I did, but they were all part of a journey I had to take. When I finally tell you everything, you'll understand that it was driven by deep, unspoken feelings. What I did might seem like a secret, but it wasn't meant to hurt anyone. It was a way of processing everything that was happening inside of me. When you hear the full story, you'll understand. There are things I've done that you won't understand, but it's not about keeping secrets. It's about finding a way to handle the emotions I didn't know how to express. Soon, you'll know the truth. I made choices that you might question, but they were driven by feelings that were too overwhelming for me to share. When I finally open up about it, you'll see the reasoning behind my actions. Behind every quiet moment, there's a storm of thoughts and feelings. What I did behind your back was a reflection of that storm, and when you hear it, you'll understand my journey. You might think you know me, but what you don't know is how deep my emotions run, especially when I've hidden them from you. Sometimes the quietest actions carry the loudest truths. You'll understand when I finally share what's been held back. I've been quietly observing, making decisions in the shadows, while all along I've been feeling every emotion, every thought deep within. When I finally tell you what I did behind your back, the weight will be lifted. There are moments when you hold back the things that could hurt or change everything, but the thoughts never stop, and neither does the emotional journey. When you hear what I did, maybe you'll understand why I kept it to myself. Behind every action, there are layers of emotion and thought, often hidden from the world. Sometimes it takes time before I can share what I've been feeling, but the truth will be revealed when the time is right. You won't believe what I did while you were unaware, but when I finally speak about it, it will reveal not just my actions, but the feelings that came with them, feelings I couldn't express before. Sometimes the things we do behind others' backs are not as dark as they seem. but rather a reflection of what's going on inside. When the truth is shared, it will uncover a deeper understanding of my heart. In silence, I've made decisions that weighed heavy on my heart. They were never meant to harm, only to help me process what I couldn't say. Wait until you hear what's been brewing beneath the surface. I can't say much now, but when the time comes, you'll realize the emotions that led me to make certain choices. It's not just what I did, it's everything I've been feeling that you didn't know. Behind the quietness, there's always a story. You'll be surprised by the actions I've taken, but you might even understand more about my feelings once you hear what I've kept hidden. It's hard to explain, but sometimes you have to take a step back to process your thoughts, especially when they're too much to handle. When I tell you what I did, it will make sense of everything you've been wondering. You may think that my silence means I'm indifferent, but in reality, it was a way to hide my confusion, my emotions, my thoughts. The truth is coming soon, and when it does, it will reveal everything I've been holding back. Behind the scenes, I made choices that weren't easy to explain. The truth is, my feelings were complex, and my actions were a reflection of that. Wait until you hear the full story. I know you might feel betrayed, but sometimes, when your emotions are too much to voice, you make decisions in silence. The actions I took were never meant to hurt, only to shield myself from a world I wasn't ready to face. What I did may seem inexplicable at first, but when I share the emotions that drove me, you'll see that my heart was simply trying to protect us both from something deeper. There were moments when I couldn't bring myself to tell you what was going on inside, but the choices I made in those times were all part of me trying to make sense of everything I felt. I never wanted to keep secrets, but sometimes the heart speaks in ways that words can't. When I reveal what I did, you'll understand the feelings I was wrestling with. It's not always easy to share everything, especially when emotions are tangled and complex. But soon you'll hear what I did and why it was necessary for me to take the actions I did. What I did might surprise you, but it wasn't done lightly. It was a reflection of the thoughts and feelings that were too heavy for me to express at the time. Sometimes the hardest decisions are the ones we make when no one is watching. But those decisions are often the result of emotions we're too scared to admit. You'll soon know what I did, and you'll understand why. There's a lot I've been hiding, not out of malice, but out of the need to protect myself and those I care about. When the truth comes to light, it will explain the thoughts and emotions behind my actions. It might not make sense now, but everything I did had a purpose. driven by feelings that were more intense than I could put into words. When I tell you the full story, you'll understand why it happened. Behind every decision, there's a complex mix of emotions. You won't know the full extent until I finally tell you everything. The truth will reveal why I did what I did. Sometimes you have to do things in secret to understand yourself better. You'll see what I did soon enough, and you'll realize it wasn't about hiding, it was about finding clarity. There are moments when I feel trapped between the words I want to say and the emotions I can't express. What I did behind your back was my attempt to figure out how to move forward.